There's people that never see a UFO in their whole life, and there are people, we hear that a lot, who see UFOs all the time. Why do you think this is happening to you? Why do you think you see so much of these things?
This has been a question for a long time in my mind. And it's the same exact question that so many experiencers have, is the big why me? And there's different reasons for it. One, and I get some of this information from a very well-known ET contact person called Sixto Paz Wells. And he's with the Rama mission ET contact groups that come out of Peru since the 1970s.
Hmm.
And they're all over the world now, along with CE5, which is the English-speaking groups. But Sixto Paz Wells kind of explained this, and it made intuitive sense to me, because it's such a big question for everybody, is why me? One of the first reasons is possibly because in a previous life experience, and I'm not saying necessarily reincarnation to Earth, but a previous lifetime experience somewhere in some dimension, sometime between lives on Earth, maybe even, you've had already met extraterrestrials of the same species that are visiting you. And of course, you hear all this about people saying, well, I'm Palladian. Well, maybe, yeah, Palladian in another lifetime or some, or another experience. And then you were seated here on Earth. I know you've all heard that. There's probably some truth to that. So that is one of the reasons, is you had previous experience already of UFOs and ET contact. And then the other reason is because the world is in need of some assistance. Why would ETs want to assist Earth? Because they have, as you would say, a stake in it, not for any kind of malevolent gain, but for benevolency. Perhaps even they feel responsible for us, because I also believe through my experiences that all of us have some off-world visitor ET DNA within us, that it's all part of us. And you've heard of that too, with people that have had, that say A negative blood is alien DNA. Well, I have relatives that are A negative and I'm A positive. So, I mean, you can read into it what that is. But whatever their reasons, I believe there are so many off-world visitors and different races and species that are assisting us. But there's this rule of no interference for some reason. Maybe it's a universal rule, kind of like Star Trek, you know, no interference unless they're warp age, kind of like that. So what they do is they're coming to help some of us, and some of these ETs are very highly advanced spiritually, or highly awakened, you might want to say, and also definitely higher evolved technologically. And technologically, I'm not thinking in terms of, you know, like Apple Watches and new technology. I'm thinking the kind of technology that is biologically based, where science meets spirituality, and spiritual experiences will eventually all be explained through biology, quantum physics, and beyond. So thus, what they do is these ETs are giving certain people experiences, and they're picked as ones that they feel will have, are more likely to do something with their experiences, such as one of you. If I don't know if you have ever had phenomena experiences before, and you might have to say, why me? Well, odds are, with your guys' personalities and ambitions and endeavors, creative endeavors, you are more likely than the person down the street to take this valuable information to help condition the world and do something with it. Exactly what you're doing. You're doing a podcast. So they're picking people that are therapists, doctors, artists, writers, people in film. They're choosing people like that are more likely to do something with it. Now, when I started having experiences, I wasn't really a writer, but it was in my soul and I never let it out. So it was a discovery for me.
It's funny that you said that because we just had a conversation before you got on about like how we kind of fell into what we did or start to do now. We both had an experience. He had one when he was 16. I had one when I was in my 20s. But then again, started doing this podcasting was kind of like getting the ball rolling into the subject, and like we had that background. So yeah, it's just pretty funny that you just mentioned that, and we just had that conversation.